he said he has the third eye. I was like, oh, now it clicked. No wonder you feel weird. Like you got this weird vibe. So you can see lah. Then he said he saw a Kak Pi just standing by the vending machine. And we are
not live. Look, we're pre-recording this, so let's try it from the other side because we still want to hear from you who does it better. And we are
not live.
All right. Vote in the comments. Let us know who does what at this point for our intro. It's the 13th of the month. Welcome to another episode of Dead Air, guys. It's just me and Kyle again this time around, but I'm sure you don't mind. You love us. It's very bold of me to assume.
Yeah, you're very bold. Yeah,
I mean, if they don't love us, why are they tuning in? If you're here just to hate, go outside, touch some grass.
Oof.
Well, it's true. In our comments for the Haunted Highways episode, I think that was episode 31, if I'm not wrong. One of our fans, Merlin Seng 4709, although I'm quite sure the 4709 came from YouTube, suggested that we do an episode on haunted schools. And you know us, we love to listen to our fans. We did love the idea very much though, so we thought, why don't we just do that?
Yep.
So in this episode, we'll look at the scariest schools around Asia. I think we're mostly focusing on Southeast Asia, but around Asia.
Okay, don't worry. Like those who are from Singapore, we're definitely going to do Singapore, but not Singapore first. Definitely going to do Singapore.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've become quite regional now, so we have to acknowledge and pay some respects to our neighbors all around Southeast Asia as well. We will start in the Philippines with Ateneo de Manila University. It's one of the oldest colleges in the country and was turned into a Japanese military camp during World War II. Some people have supposedly seen strange creatures resting by the mango tree at the high school oval in the middle of the night. And of course, there have been sightings of Japanese soldiers too. These Japanese soldiers were seen smoking in the Chervini dormitory. Oh no, believe me, I do believe this. I'm kind of curious about what creature was at the mango tree.
Same. I was thinking about the same thing also. I was like, what? They never say what?
They never say it. They just said some creature at the mango tree.
Manananggal?
It could be, but also at the same time, like I feel like if it was turned into like, a Japanese military camp at the time, would the local creatures and spirits be the ones that are there? Because if you've got like the spirits of Japanese soldiers walking by, wouldn't it be more, I don't know whether I'm overthinking this, would it be like Japanese creatures that are down there, or would it be local ones?
That's a good point, because there are documented cases where the invading force they brought their religion and they brought their things. It's documented in Singapore. They actually built a Shinto shrine in Singapore. So I'm not surprised if they brought some elements of the supernatural over also.
Yeah.
Because the Japanese are quite believers of all this, their yokais and stuff. And there's some belief that, if a person dies in a very horrific area, they might turn into a yokai.
Yeah.
And it's war, right?
Exactly.
So I'm not surprised if, some of the soldiers, the spirits actually turn into yokais lah.
Yeah.
But what? I don't know lah.
Exactly.
But I'm more inclined to think that because Philippines is pretty big, right?
Yeah.
Before the colonizers, before the invaders, there were already some, native religions that are there already, or beliefs that are there. So there might be entities that are far older than any of them.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it could be, I mean, like if you're Filipino or you are very familiar with the occult of Philippines, let us know. I think my theory is that it's something far older.
Oh,
so for example, right, like the whole idea of like the Kak Pi being there even before Bukit Brown was built doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I will say, the other thing that struck me was I do like how the ghosts of the Japanese soldiers are on their break. when you spot them, they're just smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, well, fair enough.
So, like, I mean, speaking of the school, right? Honestly, because it is a Catholic school, right?
I believe so.
Let me just, it is a Catholic.
Yeah.
It's a private school, actually. Private teaching and research, you see. And it's based in Quezon City, okay?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's very strange because places that tend to be of worship, right, tend to have darker past,
Yeah.
tend to attract that kind of being. Slight tangent to a story. This one I just remembered. I remember I was night cycling when I was a teenager. I was night cycling around Kembangan area. Kembangan is an area in Singapore where it's a lot of hill and a lot of private estates. So it's not a lot of the HDB public housing area.
Yeah.
So a lot of hills up and down. It's very good cycle at night and it's very breezy. So I was cycling with a bunch of friends. Then there was this dude, right? Like, I only remember him as one of the most handsome dudes in my secondary school. All the girls will yawn over him. Like, really, he's that kind. But it's a bit weird. Like, weird in the sense that you're just something off. But then he's the cool kid lah. So, you hang out with cool kids. Then we cycled past this church. I think it's still around. I'm not going to name it, but it's just before the hill downwards towards Bedok. It's right on a kind of like a slanted hill, that church. You can see when you take the MRT. So right, we wanted to buy a drink at the vending machine, and this was like 1 a.m. And I was just chilling. I sat there. Okay, then you all go buy lah. Then me and my friend. So there were 2 guys, me, my friend, the handsome guy, 3. Then 2 girls, I think. Yeah. Then the 4 of them went in. I was just alone. Then the bicycle parked on the road. After like 2 minutes, they quickly went out.
Right.
Then the strange thing is that because the church, the gate is not closed. So you had one of those like underground parking.
Yeah.
Then you go up, there's the church.
Yep.
Then there's the vending machine at the underground, at the far end. So they quickly work out. And I said, why? Just go. They're like, why? Oh, okay. Then I cycle. And at the point, I was like a muggle. I didn't even know what happened. I was like, oh, okay. Then I go. When we went back to Bedok and we sat down at a coffee shop, that's when he told us. He said he has the third eye. I was like, oh, now it clicked. No wonder you feel weird. Like you got this weird vibe. So you can see lah. Then he said he saw a kak pi just standing by the vending machine. I don't know. Okay. I can't confirm if it's a kak pi, but he did say that got long fingernails, long hair,
Yep.
red dress. Bro.
Is that kak pi though? I thought kak pi is white.
Could be. I don't know. So, but that's what he said lah. He said it's kak pi. They're like, oh, okay.
I mean, to be fair, if I see a woman in a red dress with long hair and long nails at 1 a.m., I'm not going to go, why are you wearing red dress? Shouldn't you be wearing white?
Yeah, and the thing is that he was very confident that it was a haunting because he said that it just like that glide out, stared at him. Because I think it knows that he can see.
But the girls...
So he just said, let's go.
Okay.
He never said anything. He only said after. But I think the girls know him well enough that this guy confirm can see things or can sense. They know lah. They know better lah. Yeah, they know better that this is like a signal, like hey, here not clean, that kind of thing. Then I was like, oh, even at the church then he's like, at like the place of worship, right? Usually have the most one. He said outside, inside.
That's okay. That's
very strange.
That's the thing. I assume that because you and I have had a discussion before. I assume that okay, to be fair, from the way he described it, it's still technically outside the church. It's not within church grounds.
It's not the where they do the congregation lah.
Yeah lah.
Yeah. It's at the car park lah.
What was it you were saying that the reason why they gather around places of
this
worship?
one I can't answer for the church, but I can answer for the Chinese like the Buddhist temples and the Taoist temples. Is because they want to receive the blessings of the gods and the deities. They want them to help them lah.
To be fair, that sounds like, okay, if we're looking at, if let's say this is true for all religions, that does make sense.
Yeah.
It's And it's something I never thought about before. I mean, within the places of worship, normally it feels a little bit safer.
I think if it's the main congregation, it should be fine.
Yeah.
It should be fine.
Yeah.
But then again, right, I have heard of stories of people who slept in temples. They say they hear a lot of like noises at night. Yeah.
I mean, it could be coming from outside,
It says around the temple.
Yeah.
But I think the guy who told me he's like a caretaker or something. He was a caretaker at one point. Then I said, what? Don't you feel creepy to sleep in the temple? I said, of course. But I have no choice. What?
I'm actually trying to think of the places of worship that I've been to when I was a kid, and whether I'm sure there were stories around them. I can't remember any of them now.
Yeah.
But yes. So that's what's the university again? Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines.
Yep.
Another one that we went looking for that we found was High School 5 in Bandung. This is Indonesia. It's got Dutch colonial architecture, which is kind of fitting because it's apparently haunted by a beautiful but ghostly Dutch lady named Nancy. I don't know how they figured out her name. Nancy was supposedly the victim of a vicious murder. Maybe that's how they figured out her name, which is why she still roams the halls of the school. High School 5 is known for having 3 windows that are always open. If you walk around the school 3 times, Nancy will show herself to you in one of those windows. Nancy's also been seen on the stairs near the school hall with blood dripping out of her mouth.
Oh my God.
Now, I'm kind of curious as to whether there's like some kind... We did a cursory search, but I'm kind of curious if there's any historical records that would tie this Nancy person to the school, whether there was a case of an actual murder. Because if it's from Dutch colonial times, then, I imagine the records are probably quite sketchy already. But the whole seeing her in the window thing, that sounds like... that. I know it's Indonesia, but it sounds like a very Western idea of, the whole Bloody Mary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds more like that.
I mean, Ang Mo ghosts confirm use Ang Mo tactic, right?
That's true. But Ang Mo ghosts using Ang Mo tactic in Southeast Asian country though.
Yeah, but still Ang Mo ghosts.
But okay. Do you think, for example, I mean, this is not a school, but do you think the German girl in Pulau Ubin, would she use any Ang Mo tactics?
I don't know.
Yeah. Because I've heard of the legend of the German girl.
Yeah.
But
German China, yeah.
Yeah, any hauntings involving her don't seem very like, okay I'm sure they're creepy at the time but nothing malicious. They always seem like, it's just she's there.
I don't know. I feel like it really depends on your religion actually. As to your, I guess your race.
Yeah.
Because your religion defines how you are, buried or taken care of at death.
Yeah.
Then that also shows that which version of hell or heaven that you go to, and which version of spirit that you turn into. So it really depends. Yeah. But I think that the fact that there's actually the 3 windows that's open, right?
Yeah.
It's very strange because if I were the groundskeeper, I would open a set not like just 3 .
Yeah.
It's very strange. So there's certain schools in Singapore that is known to be, haunted. Certain toilet lights are on at night.
Oh.
You can go and see for yourself. It's really open. It's really on. It's like maybe like the 3rd or 4th floor on. The rest all closed. Then you don't tell me, right? Like the caretaker, if there's one who's staying over, right? Use the toilet at 4th floor. Bro, use some common sense. If he or she is sleeping at the 1st floor, of course on the 1st floor one.
Maybe the 4th floor toilet, the cleanest one.
No, but like it doesn't warrant like up and down. It just doesn't make sense. It's really illogical. And why you on 2? Why not 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. And why can't you just switch it off? Why do you have to on it? Then if let's say the principal is, wants to save electricity bills, then all the more they should switch it off. And if you have motion sensors, that's a different thing also, right?
Yeah lah.
So I think there is always an explanation for it.
Yeah, the 3 windows thing was definitely like it feels very Western, but also at the same time like that's very specific lah. There has to be some reasoning behind it. Yeah. Oh, Nancy.
You repeat 3 times and then later she come.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Like, they say you have to walk around 3 times lah. So she really makes you work for it lah.
Yeah. There was this very old school that I went to explore in some part of Bedok when I was younger. We went in. It's abandoned for very long already. I think now it's torn down already.
Right.
But I don't remember the school's name because it went through so many phases of usage. So I don't even remember which school was the original one. So anyway, we went in. Then my friend's brother heard someone playing grand piano, bro, inside the parade. Not parade. You know the hall.
Yeah.
Inside the hall, bro.
Assembly hall lah.
At like 10 p.m. Abandoned school, Yeah, piano sound. That was like next level.
I genuinely would like to believe it's the caretaker. And he knows that people come down there looking for stuff like that. And then he just messes with
So
you.
suddenly he become Beethoven.
No. He just he's like, okay, when was this?
This was early 2000s.
He put his MP3 player down there. Then connect speaker, then play the sound all.
Oh, quite bastard.
Yeah. I mean, if that is the case, it would be quite funny lah.
It is quite funny.
Yeah. But also, if it's not the case, then it's much less funny lah.
Yeah, but now I see that plot of land that is empty. They're probably going to build houses on there.
They probably will.
Good luck.
They probably will.
Good luck.
Well, you say that, considering how many houses in Singapore have been built over like cemeteries and stuff like that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair point. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I have speaking of story, I have a story that I would like to share. So recently I've met this guy who practices geomancy. Like fated to meet lah, basically.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it as that. So I think he also listens to Ghost Maps and Dead Air. But they were sharing with me one of the stories about a newly built estate. Okay, I'm not gonna share where the estate is because I don't want it to affect people who are staying there.
Yeah.
But it used to be built on it used to be a cemetery, a large cemetery in Singapore. So right now it's not Bishan lah, by the way. Because Bishan is quite well known, but it's not Bishan, by the way. So it's known to be a big cemetery, and now a lot of people want to buy the house there lah. So apparently there is a 24-hour convenience shop there that keep having high turnover for staff, especially at the night shift. So it's the usual thing. People are going to the shop, ding dong, nobody. Then we'll hear weird sounds, we'll experience weird shit. Then people just keep quitting. Nobody saw anything. It was just like a lot of weird occurrences. Yeah. Then I asked, so is it because of the feng shui of the place? And then the person said, yeah. He basically said it's not for everyone.
Are the entities entering this convenience store fans of our short film Closing Time?
I like how, right, your pacing is like, wow, perfect, yeah.
I know. I was listening to you, but also at the same time.
Was that why your eyes were like you were thinking, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I could see you thinking. Yes and no, I guess. No, but honestly, right, I mean, I'm a big fan of like the whole horror where I like to listen to Western horror podcasts where they talk about late night shifts. Because there's this sense of like, you're just alone.
Yeah.
Because in the Americas, you're big,
Yeah.
Nobody could help you within like the 100 square miles kind of thing. Like you're so isolated, like small town, like late night shops. So I like that idea of it. But to experience it in Singapore, it's quite wild. Because Singapore is so dense.
It is, but also at the same time, like if you're looking at, let's say, a housing estate at like 1-2 o'clock in the morning, I almost feel like, I'm not saying it's scarier, but it's a different kind of scary because you're so used to seeing so much life in the estate. Then you come at 1-2 o'clock.
Yeah, it's creepy.
That's already creepy.
It's creepy, it's creepy. But honestly, if you shout, like, people will scold you.
Yeah.
You scream, ah!
Then the question is,
then the neighbor come down and scold you.
exactly. Then the question is, are you more scared of the ghost or the neighbor come down and scold you?
Or the police.
Or the police. Try lah, next time.
No, I'm not gonna try it. No.
Like, next time you throw a party in your flat or what, then like, the police come to say, oh, I'm making a lot of noise because I scared of ghosts. See whether the police accept that as an excuse lah. I'm not daring any real to do it, but you want to try, you go ahead lah.
Yeah. I wonder what they would say.
They'll say shut up, probably. Keep your volume down, shut up.
Honestly, right? Like, I mean, it's really tough to be a first responder.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, you have to face it.
Yeah.
Imagine lah, like, and I mean, despite what you feel about the first responders, but like, come on lah, if you in Singapore especially, kena ghost, you call who first? You can't call police, right?
You can't call Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you can't call police. Then you tell police, I think my house got intruder. If you're smart about it, I think my house, they will sweep for you. Then they will come out. Because I've seen plenty of those like body cam footage. Like, it's damn scary. Like this police officer, he was clearing, of course in the States, clearing the rooms, like, and then you can clearly see the door closed behind him, bro. Oof. Nobody there. He clear. And he had weapon drawn. He thought there was intruder. Yeah. Then after that, he shortly after, he still turned around and see. Then he saw the door close. Then he go open, then nobody. Then he just left. But he didn't say anything. But I can tell you, at that point, he confirmed shitting bricks.
Yeah. Actually, if any of y'all happen to work in civil defense.
No. First responder.
That's not limited to Singapore.
Yeah, not just Singapore. If you work in first responder, please share with us.
If you're police, if you're the ambulance, if you're a firefighter, if you've experienced anything weird, please do share it with us.
Yep.
We're kind of curious actually. We can't guarantee that it'll be a full-on episode. Chances are we'll have to legally work our way around that a little bit too much to make it an actual episode, but we're kind of curious at the very least.
Yeah, like how we legally, work our way around this episode also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I like how we strayed from schools to somehow or another we ended up at a convenience store.
Yep.
Yeah. But bringing us back to schools, I was going to ask you whether you want to do this one because I know I cannot pronounce the name.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah.
I have Cambodian friends. So forgive me, my Cambodian friends, if I pronounce it wrongly. The Toi Sui Pre High School in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, was transformed into a prison. This one is a bit heavy,
Yeah.
by the Khmer Rouge in 1976. The former school became the site of countless executions and torture, and the school has since been transformed into the Toi Sling Genocide Museum. Locals have heard rattling shackles and echoing screams from its former prison room. Night shift staff have also seen a dark figure lurking near the toilets.
The one thing I'll say is if they seen just one figure, I'm going to say that they got off very lucky.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised. Remember the story that we did of Ghost Maps? And it was based on a real story, right?
Yeah.
Of this guy who went to Cambodia to visit the killing fields.
Yes.
And then basically a whole bunch of spirits was like, help.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. It's something that is so tragic, that is so, so traumatizing, so much negative energy and, bad things that happen in this one space. I'm not surprised there are a lot of trapped spirits and a lot of spirits that are wanting revenge.
In places like this, and I think, what was it called? The Hell Highway that we covered in
the Haunted Highway episode. Yeah.
Places like this, like, honestly, whether you believe in the supernatural or not, it almost seems inconsequential what your beliefs are. Because even if, let's say, I'm not going to see any ghosts, you don't believe you ever see any ghosts or anything, that's one thing, but you cannot help but feel like you say lah, that negative energy that's just hanging in the air.
The energy is heavy lah.
Yeah.
It's heavy. Like one closest examples for Singaporeans, right, is basically Changi.
Yeah.
Changi Beach.
Yeah.
Like I was having a conversation with the geomancer. He was like saying, yeah, Changi is heavy air, man.
Yeah.
Very heavy. He said because of the atrocities that were committed there during war. And there are still many, many, many restless spirits that are there.
Yeah.
So, of course, he advised me, say, hey, you try not to go there to do your horror stuff. Try. He said, try. But he said, yeah, there is like, it's like that. So I asked him, I say, like, is it true that, places that had suffered great tragedy has a lot of congregation of this so-called negative and yin energy? And then he was like, yeah, for sure. Definitely, without a doubt. So I'm not surprised. It kind of feels, you kind of feel for them lah.
Yeah.
In a sense, I don't know. Were there research done that that they got do prayers or not for the deceased?
What, at the Genocide Museum, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure that they did. I mean, this is Asia lah. If they have a museum like this, chances are they probably did prayers for the deceased down there. But also at the same time, like, I mean, I do wonder also, like, you pray and it's a sign of respect, but like you said, it's going to be so heavy down there. The aura is going to be so heavy down there. I don't know if they could ever, they're restless spirits for a reason. I don't know if they can ever find some sense of peace. The funny thing is, like, you bring up Changi and everything. Like, for me, every time I go to Changi, like we did go to Changi for a bit of Ghost Maps related work. And for me, what I feel down there, it's, again, this might be just oblivious Wayne. If that's the case, I'm happy you stay oblivious. But for me, what I feel is, even me being oblivious, what I feel is not anger. It's still heavy, but it's like sadness. I choose to continue to believe that that's what I felt, as opposed to like angry spirits. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything in Changi. I don't want to. That's not a challenge.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you guys have seen anything, let us know in the comments. And like, how, even if you haven't seen anything, how do you feel when you step into these areas that are steeped in such tragic history? How does it make you feel? What kind of overpowering sense do you get from walking in those places? Yeah. But this, to learn that the school, it's just, I mean, it feels so much worse just because it's like a place of knowledge, a place of growing and everything.
There are survivors,
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
There are survivors. Yeah, I'm looking at like an article, a blog post of someone there. It's like an actual survivor who sits at that place talking about his experience, sharing, and then he like show photos and stuff. He says, I'm a victim of this place. Then I have a book. Here's it's $10, then you can read about it. So I'm briefly reading about like the coverage on it. So it's actually quite a well-known thing in Cambodia and between Cambodians. Yeah, so it's if you believe in the whole karmic cycle, right?
Yeah.
I think people can do compilation of me saying, if you believe in the whole karmic cycle. I'm sure I've done it like at least
I think people can do a compilation of you if you can believe in and then just fill in the blanks on it.
So if you believe in the whole karmic cycle, right? I think eventually they will find peace by finding the people who actually committed the atrocities to them. Yeah. Then it's like in their next life or whatever lah. So then the cycle will be completed.
So if let's say let's say the people who committed the atrocities are brought to justice, does that mean that?
No, it's not.
So how do they?
If you're asking me from the whole perspective of karmic cycle, right?
Yeah.
So the from what I understand is you receive what is given, in a sense whereby if you, for example, you cheat on your other half in this life.
Yeah.
The next life, your karma will be you get cheated on, no?
Right.
And you will be a sim to that person that you cheat on, no? The soul lah.
Right. Okay.
So it's a receive lah. Or maybe like because these people that were slaughtered by these oppressors, you know, then maybe in their next life,
the oppressors are the one.
oppressors will become, I don't know, a caretaker for these people. Lor. So it's like, it's a return. So there's this saying like, if you're husband and wife, right, in your past life, the two of you either like owe each other something big lah to be together again. Because husband and wife, you know, sometimes you quarrel on, right? So I think it's like you owe each other lah. Or I think the highest thing that I've thought I heard of is if you are a pet of that particular person, that means you as an owner owe this pet something in your past life. That's why you're taking care of this pet, because the pet does nothing, just chilling, you know, being taken care of. Yeah, I know. I see where your face is coming from. So probably in your past life, you have like let it down, or like you have like, I don't know lah, did something to this soul lah. So that is the whole idea of the whole karmic cycle.
I don't know what horrible crime I must have committed to my cat in our previous life.
Probably kick the cat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like
something evil.
Yeah, I must have been absolutely evil to the cat because wow, he's living a good life now.
Yeah.
But yes,
interesting, right?
It is very interesting. But yeah, it's man, human beings are terrible. Like, you know, I don't mean to be a downer or everything, but reading about these kind of things, every once in a while I just think to myself, human beings can be really terrible.
Yeah.
There is good in the world as well, but man, sometimes...
Well, the good are the animals lah.
Some humans as well lah. I'll let some humans have a pass.
Very low percentage, but okay.
Yeah. I'll let you have a pass.
I think I always stand by the animals are the innocent one.
Yeah,
animals are like just chilling, you know?
Yeah.
They're just chilling. I'll do my thing.
I'm sure my cat was just chilling until somebody brought him into the house. Now he's like, fine. I will look cute for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about pets. Let's move on. We're looking at India now. So we're moving beyond Southeast Asia a little bit. This one is interesting. I think I remember hearing about this. So the story is that 3 children in an upper level primary school in the Tonk district of India fainted after seeing a ghostly girl. After the incident, I guess kind of naturally, 170 other students refused to attend school. That ended up driving almost 300 people to perform religious rituals in the school. One of these people was possessed by the local deity, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, Tajaji. And through this person, the deity advised parents to regularly perform puja at the temple in the school to get rid of the spirit.
Cleansing.
Puja is a ritualistic prayer ceremony that involves giving offerings to deities to ask for blessing and protection. An education department officer said that the parents seemed satisfied after the puja was performed and that they would send their children to school the following Monday.
Seems like it's more for the parents, right?
I know, right?
Okay lah. At least they're doing their job lah as parents, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I can imagine lah. I mean, look, if 170 students didn't show up, Asian parents not gonna let the kid just not go to school.
Yeah, you cleanse the school first.
Yeah, so clearly
then I let him do
clearly
maths.
the parents are like, no.
Cleanse the school first. Then we will make doctors out there.
Yeah, I remember I remember seeing this from before. I can't remember when exactly it was, but I remember seeing this from before, and I think there was like, it wasn't just India. I remember seeing something similar happening in like across Asia as well.
Malaysia.
Yes, that's right.
I think it was our friend Heather who wrote the article.
I think so.
Covered the whole mass hysteria in Malaysia. There was this school that multiple female students were actually possessed.
Yeah.
And nobody could explain. And I did cover on that, like in one of the day episodes where I talked about like that happened in my secondary school. So like mass hysteria, like not like 170 people lah, like maybe like 10.
Yeah.
That kind, but still enough
for
you to like, whoa, like hold on.
Yeah.
You know? And these are young kids. I'm not saying that children don't go through mental struggles.
Yeah.
But like being so young, right? it's very unlikely that you will have go through a lot of hardship in life lah.
Yeah.
Especially when you are just like barely like 10 years old, 11 years
you're
old.
in school,
so your mental, your mental well-being should be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. To like just snap like that, right? And it's not just one, it's like 10. Then that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting how like the it starts with 3 and then next thing you know 170 of them, it's just like no. I mean, it's interesting, but also at the same time, if quite frankly, if I heard this, I also
it's creepy, bro.
It's creepy.
Like, okay, imagine, right? You're in class, you're just studying, and then like your classmates start screaming at the corner room. I see her. Then the rest start doing the same thing. How would you not freak out?
Yeah.
Dude, I would run. And it's in the day leh.
Forget the rest. One person starts screaming, right? That's enough for me already.
Exactly.
I don't need any more than that. If 2 already, I'm like, nope, this is not a coincidence.
And given that I was a wuss in primary school, right? I think I would have ran, bro.
Man, I would have ran. I'm a wuss now. If I see a child do that now, I will still run. Doesn't even have to be in the school. I'll be like, if a child starts going, what's that? I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. Take your child, I'm leaving here.
I think I have a theory about this. What if, right? The spirit is still there. It's just that they did the whole ritual big enough to make people feel that, wow, I feel safe now. It's the whole idea of it. Then, right, the spirit is just like, whatever lah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think like I was reading an article about this particular one where the deity that possessed one of the parents, the deity was like, the article elaborated a little bit more, and the deity said that the reason why this ghost has appeared is because you should be regularly performing this ritual. This the offering to the deities to ask for blessings, protection.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be a one-off thing. You have been slack in doing this, and that's why, because you haven't been giving the offerings, suddenly now y'all can see ghosts. And I mean, this is not what he said lah, but I imagine the case is you're lucky it's just a girl now, like a little girl ghost. It could be a lot worse.
Excuse you? Why girl ghost not strong enough?
Not strong enough, but not saying not strong enough, but like, it's still an innocent ghost in that sense.
Yeah.
But like, so I think I don't think you're wrong. I think that the spirits are still there. I think it's a case of the deities are there to, for lack of a better term, like keep the spirits in line.
Yeah. I feel, right, even in movies, when it's portrayed in movies,
yeah,
I think the line between good and evil, right, is very blurred in a sense whereby you can be absolute good, right? But then sometimes in real life, even the deities is like, okay, we have negotiated with them.
Yeah.
So long you don't cross this line, you're good.
Yeah.
Like, then the spirits are like, like, it's not say that they're not powerful enough to expel them, because there's an understanding that I've been here for like the longest. Like, I've been here a few centuries, bro. Now you come, then you ask me to go.
Exactly.
Cannot be what? It cannot be like that, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if, I mean, like you said, good and evil is there's the gray area, but especially if the spirits aren't there to be malicious in the first place. Like you said, they're just there. That's where they reside. So if you are telling the spirit to get out, then who's being the disrespectful one at that point?
Okay lah. But to be fair, I must like highlight this point lah. I will say yes, not all spirits are there to harm people.
Yeah.
But I will say there is a percentage of evil spirits lah.
Yeah lah, of course lah.
Yeah, confirm will have one. Yeah. That wants to, take a life lah.
I mean, we were talking about this earlier, how there's more dead people. There's probably more ghosts in the world than there are living people. So the odds of you running into somebody who's an ass who's alive, quite high already.
Yep.
And if there's more ghosts, then most likely you run into quite a few malicious spirits lah.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least in this case, it was fairly straightforward. And you're like, okay, just you've been slack in your offerings, pick up the slack and all will be good again. So it's kind of nice that it's that straightforward lah.
Yeah.
Like as opposed to some of the other stories we had where there's no resolution for the people and for the spirits.
Honestly, if you ask me, right, I mean, we've done this for so long already, and there's a progression with our beliefs. For me, right, is that I don't think the idea of haunted places will ever cease to exist.
Yeah.
Even as we go to, you know, AI, quantum computing, we get advanced, like even cyborgs. I think the idea will still be there. It will forever be there. Because history. Unless you're talking about you're leveling Earth lah. Nothing lah, wipe out clean slate, then okay. But I think so long that there is, you know, that we still know who we are, where our roots come from, our ancient history, our roots, it will still be there. Culture, you see.
I think it goes back to like when we first started doing ghost maps, people used to ask us this question, and we had a very what I thought was a very clever answer. But it's a clever answer that is rooted in truth also.
Yeah.
When people used to ask us the question, do you believe in ghosts? We used to say it doesn't really matter what we believe. What matters is that people believe in these stories. And I think that is true.
Yeah.
And I think that is why hauntings and ghost stories and everything, they're never going to go away. Because like you said, it's the culture, but it's part of the culture, and it's the stories of that culture also.
Yeah.
It's like why we always say like, oh, in Southeast Asia, it's very different from like other parts of the world where, you know, ghost story, everybody got ghost story, what? You ask a Singaporean, Malaysian, Indonesian, somebody from Thailand, you go ghost story tell, they'll tell you almost as quickly as they recommend food.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I don't think they're going away.
Yeah. So the fifth on the list, right, is in one of my favorite cities in the world, Hong Kong. It's called Ta Te. When you read it in English, it's Tak lah.
Because that's what I was reading it as. So it's a good thing you read it.
Ta Te High School in Pingshan Village, Hong Kong. It is apparently haunted by many, many spirits. In fact, on this list, right, Tak Te is like the most famous one. People have seen ghosts squatting in one of the rooms, and there's a story about a teacher who took her own life in a girl's toilet while wearing a red dress. And then this tied to a story of a group of students who visited the school, and one of the female students became possessed by the teacher's spirit and then started attacking the classmates before trying to take her own life. But there's more, actually. I dug out even more. When you look at the Wikipedia page of Ta Te, right, there is an entire section of it being a haunted site. Normally, you know, like on Wikipedia, right, nobody will bother to write, but somebody bothered to write. So basically, right, it is in one of the new territories of Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is quite, for lack of a better word, big lah. Anything is big compared to Singapore, right? So there's the, you know, the place that all tourists go, the Kowloon Island.
Yeah.
Then there's the Hong Kong Island, which is like the more atas area. Then there's like the behind the more like the back area of Hong Kong, which is the nearer to the mainland and connected to the mainland actually, which is called the New Territories.
Right.
And it's a lot of the older village, a lot of older areas. I've been there. And in fact, I just been there earlier this year, Hong Kong.
All right, yeah.
So I've been to the New Territories. So it's actually very mountainous, a lot of hills, a lot of forests. It's still very underdeveloped, but the thing is that it's so far away from the main Hong Kong district, the main city area, which is like the Kowloon, the you know, the Causeway Bay, all these.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are moving away from there. There used to be a little bit more people but so now it's a lot of old people.
Yeah.
And it is surrounded by graves leading to the site of Tak Tak school, and it's one of the sources of the Hong Kong's ghost stories, oldest Hong Kong ghost stories, and is considered the most haunted location in Hong Kong.
Hang on, did you say it's surrounded by graves?
Yeah. So the Chinese do believe that, you know, you bury your dead on mountains or places where you can see a view lah, like an overpass and kind. Usually it's good for feng shui, good for your next descendant. So and there weren't any laws or like proper,
Okay.
It's a little bit like Singapore lah, back in the 1800s or like the early 1900s. There's no regulation much. You just bury lah. Or some people who stay in the kampong nearby the village.
Yeah.
And there were villages, so they bury lor.
Yeah.
They're surrounded by graves. And in the early 1900s, the British soldiers entered the new territories. And they basically forced local clans who don't want to give up their traditional rights, and then they fought the war, a short war, 6-day war. And according to this page, some 500 indigenous Chinese villagers of Pingshan, which is the area where Tak Tak is at, were killed and buried on the hillside of the modern day school. That's not it. The tragedy continues.
Oh, of course it does.
In 1941, Japanese soldiers killed numerous people on the site and turned it into a mass grave during the occupation of Hong Kong. Though none of these claims were verified, and villagers said that they did not hear ghost stories either. I mean, if I'm staying there, I also want to deny, like, fuck lah, no ghost lah, okay?
I mean, okay lah, if the villagers don't hear anything, then I guess that's a good sign?
Yeah. So, one of the most famous stories is the rumored death of the headmistress of that school lah. It is very tragic because she was attacked and then she committed suicide lah, and her ghost said to haunt the school. Though it was disputed by people who actually studied in that school, they said that no such thing happened.
Yeah.
But he did hear that there were other people who passed in the school, just not that. And in 2011, that's where the story happened. Like a group of 12 secondary school students visited the site as a dare lah.
Of course.
Then they saw the woman in red lor. And then 3 of them fainted and became hysterical and started biting each other and tried to strangle themselves. And they had visions of people dying and were admitted to the hospital. And basically they lost their mental psyche.
I'm not entirely surprised that there's a lot of dispute about the headmistress taking her life, that story. Because I feel like every secondary school and a lot of primary schools, everybody I know from like a secondary school, they all have their own story of, actually, this toilet got one person take their life. No way to verify it.
But the toilet is the most in place. We've established that, right? Yeah. And furthermore, right, this place, right, I guess it's like their version of Old Changi Hospital, right? So many tragedy. And filmmakers like to shoot TV dramas and movies there, like action films. And there were claims that they converted it into a prison for a scene. But the filmmakers like, no, we didn't do that. So there are also rumors that it could be a prison last time. And of course, lastly, the Ang Mo one, some deep on that. So National Geographic did a TV series in 2013 called I Wouldn't Go There. And it was investigated thoroughly, like I wouldn't go Tak Tak . So, it's a long list, man. But when you search Tak Tak school, right, TATTAK, there's like a whole bunch of lists. Like even Time Now was like talking about it. I
have to say, some of the photos that you see of it, right?
Jeez.
Yeah. I can see why it's one of the creepiest places in Hong Kong, because it looks really creepy. And I can see also the comparison with Old Changi Hospital, because that's the vibe I get from that place as well.
Yeah. And I think the Chinese, they have this idea of also ancestral let me look at ancestral hall. So ancestral hall is basically a standalone building where you put the spiritual tablets of the deceased of your ancestor.
Okay.
So that's just creepy. So of course it was built by certain influential people. So they will put their, So that also is pointed to the fact that, with this element in it, people are like, it's haunted. There's like all this ancestral hall nearby, and then it was built on graves. There's a lot of graves nearby, and it's like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
I like how the villagers are like, no, it's not that haunted.
It really is like our old Changi, because right, I'm still reading it. Tak Tak School, right, closed in 1998.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. It's a very interesting year
Yeah.
in that city's history.
Yeah.
Interesting year after that city's history. You look at the place and you look at it really strikes me as the kind of place. I love how the villagers are just like, no, there's nothing down there. I'm like, come on. There's got to be something down there.
I mean, it's infamous lah. Like even like other horror YouTubers like supernatural investigators, they went this school right? Yeah.
I'm not visiting it. There's no way I'm visiting that place.
I mean, even before I started watching Hong Kong films, right, I've already known about this. I don't know, somebody told me about this. There's this very scary haunted school in Hong Kong. You need to go and check it out. This was the day of IRC, bro. Like early 2000s.
I just want to say right now, I can't remember my IRC number.
Yeah. But I mean, generally, like a lot of ghost stories come out from Pingshan, this area. Yeah, it's huge.
Is it because of all the graves that are around the area?
It's because it's surrounded by nature. And it's all and when you think old village, Chinese houses that are old village, they're like 1-2 story floor. And you really look like the just very old Chinese architecture. Yeah, some of them predates like the colonization of Hong Kong also. Wow. It predates that. Yeah, so it's there for many years already. I remember going to one such village, like ancient Chinese village. Then the walls itself are so old, you know. Yeah, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Like I have special attachment to this because I see the similarities between this and Old Changi Hospital.
Yeah.
As well as my love for Hong Kong culture, Hong Kong film. And I've seen one program is called, if I'm not wrong, it's called Guai Tan, which translates to weird talk. I know.
That's a great name for a show, to be fair.
Weird talk, but it's basically a ghost hunting show. And they did this school. And they freaked out, bro. Like the hosts were like, oh my god, like damn scary. Like there's something lah. There's like things there. Then they actually went to every single floor, bro. They explored every single. Yeah. You know what I want to say? I know like this is like a overstatement, but like the cameramans are the bravest, bro.
Yeah.
Because right, imagine you're walking, and this was before the days of like selfie cam. Now you can do ghost investigation with selfie cam, right? But this was the day with like I would say like maybe early 2010s, like with the DV cams and the night vision cameras. And you like, bro, the cameraman need to like backstep, you know, or like if you walk alone, right, then you're going down or you're running down, right, the cameraman need to stay there to get the shot. Then he go down. Then what if the hantu behind him then die?
There has to be some ghost hunting channel or some paranormal investigation channel where it's just cameramen talking about their experiences. All these cameramen, I tell you, this bloody horse, just run and then leave me there.
After we film Incredible Tales, then we go and ask them. Yeah. So the surrounding area is also quite abandoned, actually. Yeah. Let me see. There seems to be graves though.
Oh,
yeah, there's graves, bro. Do they not look like the Chinese graves? You know
those are definitely graves.
Yeah, bro. Like it's just right next. Right next to school.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I do wonder whether the villagers downplay it. I mean, like you said, there's the ancestral hall down there and everything. Maybe why they try to downplay it is so that people don't come and like go stomping through the village.
Yeah, it's very near to like some of the ancestral village and the heritage trail that they have. It's very, very near. In fact, oh my god.
What?
I did not plan this, but I literally walked past it. Jesus. I did not know that it was so close.
Wait, when did you walk past it? Like in
this year.
Huh.
This year. I took an Uber all the way from Hong Kong Island, which was like super pricey, all the way here. It was close to 1 hour ride.
Oh.
Yeah, with good traffic. It's very far. It's very far from. There's Hong Kong is like at least 1.5 times of Singapore size.
Yeah.
It's not big, but it's
big enough.
When you put it into our scale, right?
Yeah.
It's like maybe you take a car from I don't know Changi, all the way to Jurong, and then plus another Jurong, something like that. 2 Jurongs. So I went there. I went nearby. So I was very very close. I went to this place called Siong Chong Wai. Is this like village that I told you, like this old village, and then right next to it is the Tang Hall, which is basically the affluent, the Tang ancestral hall, the affluent people who helped build this school, the Tak Tak school. So it's right next to that. So I had like a feeling like, this place feels familiar, but I didn't know. So we were just walking around, and there were a few deities that we went to pray to, and then there was this like old well that we saw, like where the villagers used to. People still stay there, People still stay. The village is like quite cramped. Then it's very interesting because it's like the Chinese movies, right? The old Chinese movie where they had like the gates.
Yeah.
Then you can go in. Then it's like the whole city.
Oh,
wow. Like a whole village. It's very interesting. Then people stay there.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's quite cool lah. Then you have like, now the new technology got the antennas and shit. So people still stay there. And then they have warnings because they have a over tourism problem. So people go in, trespass. That's private property, by the way. They trespass and they go in, take photos of people's houses. I mean, outside it's fine, but you don't go inside lah. Because there's signs that it's private property already.
Huh.
Yeah. Even though it's a historical site, but that doesn't mean that you can go in as and when. But I saw one of the caretakers, and then we had a conversation with my very limited and shitty Cantonese. She basically told me that over tourism is a problem, but like you can walk around outside and see.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was like this close to Tak Tak. Whoa, dude! Like now this got like different layer already. I literally went past it. Whoa, this got new layers. This trip, and the weird thing is that right next to this village, which is quite big. There's a MTR, which is their MRT, like a station. And the station is like a very well developed. It's like Punggol LRT, that kind.
That seems very strange.
Yeah. So some people stay there lor. So you can imagine like you see, let me show you. This is the area, Pingshan. Then all the way here is like the main part of Hong Kong, super dense, right? Then you see like all the green.
Yeah.
Then you get here.
Oh my god.
Then this surrounding area got trains, but it's only on the outside. Yeah, then you cross the border. This is Shenzhen already, which is China. So yeah.
Now I see why. Okay, a little bit of background. Carl insisted on reading out this entry, and now I see why.
No, I did not realize that it was so close. I only realized when I opened up Google Map and then I saw them. Then I was like, wait, because I got marked this place where I went. I was like, oh, it's so close. Yeah.
Did you get any vibes while you're walking?
No.
But you went during the day, right?
Yeah, I went during the of course. It's more of a family trip. But I did feel that there were reasons why there were deities around. There were like apparently there's this deity, right, that you pray for wisdom, for studying.
Okay.
So apparently it's very popular. So with the locals will actually go there if they want to take exam. Then they will pray. Then there's one if it's I think more for like a keen sense of things in life, like perception. So got different deities.
Interesting.
Then it's on this like it's built in this small pagoda. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, then there's like the standard the Tutikong, which is the earth deity that protects the land. Yeah, so
I will say I'm quite curious about the exam pass and fail rate in that area. And like see when the deity is like, you come to me, you ask for this, fine. You better study also.
There's I think we went another temple also in the New Territories area people were praying to Confucius.
Wow.
Yeah, for wisdom. Confucius, yeah. I think it was just after the Chinese New Year period, so a lot of people.
Huh.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I'm quite sure this is the first time I've heard of this where people pray to Confucius.
They do. God of War also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, I had no idea how much history there was behind this place.
Dude, like, I swear, right, like, I think the moment we step out of Singapore, right, it's like, the layer gets, I'm not saying Singapore has no history.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
there's a lot of history.
A lot
outside.
more, bro.
Yeah.
Like, a lot
Because
more.
I like when we were doing research for this, to me, this was just like, oh, another haunted school. And you see the photos, you're like, oh, it's creepy. I had no idea how much, like, history I'm sure they all have history to it, but like that much incidents and that much anecdotes and history around the place itself.
Yeah.
Also, those are a lot of graves. That's a lot of graves to be around the school.
Bro, no, I hell no, I will not go there.
Nope.
Hell no, nope. Free, I also don't go.
I mean, you say that, but considering what we do. Any last thoughts on this school?
No.
I like how you're like, no.
I'm like,
no, we're good. Let's move.
I'm like, wow, shook Like, did you find out that, like somehow he has brought, we like to say, right, the spirits have brought us there.
Yes.
In that sense, yeah.
Yeah lah.
Yeah.
The spirits brought you there in mentally you headed there. The Uber brought you there physically lah.
Yeah.
How much you pay for the Uber?
Oh my god, it was like close to 80 Sing.
Holy crap.
But I
Was
think
it worth the 80 Sing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a very nice conversation with the driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's us helping with tourism for other countries as well.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's start to wrap things up.
No. We got one more on the list, right?
That's right. This is how we start to wrap things up. We're not wrapping things up. We start to wrap things up.
You get them scared,
No, get them scared. No. There's a bit more for us. Don't worry.
Okay.
We're not ending the episode just yet.
Okay.
And we did say that we'll come back to Singapore, and we have.
Yep.
This is the old Admiralty Secondary School, which closed in 1994. Apparently, however, the spirit of a deceased student still haunts the empty halls. People claim to have heard footsteps and whispers but couldn't pinpoint where the sound was coming from. Others have seen objects move on their own. I always find it a little bit difficult to, like, it feels too real to find out that, in this place there are objects moving on their own and stuff like that. That seems a bit too out there for me. The idea of footsteps and whispers and the whole thing, that's one thing lah, but like, to see objects, it's a bit of a stretch for me, that one. Have you been to this place? Have you been to the old Admiralty Secondary School?
Where is it at?
I guess Admiralty lah, I don't know.
I don't think I have, but I'm doing a quick search about of where it used to be. I don't know if it's the same place or not lah. But if it's at where the whole stretch Admiralty Road, right?
Yeah.
Well, then it's quite creepy. Because that road is quite isolated.
I feel like I've passed by the school before. I cannot for the life of me remember why. I'm going to assume it has something to do with work somehow, because there's no reason for me to, no disrespect to anybody who lives in Admiralty, but there's no reason for me to go down there. So I feel like I've been there for work for some reason. And the idea of this creepy old school sounds like it tickles the back of my mind. Like, I'm quite sure I've seen it. But
I don't know. No disrespect to people who stay in the North and Woodlands area, but Admiralty just gives me that creepy vibes.
Yeah. Woodlands at least feels populated, which sounds terrible to say. I'm not saying that, we discount anybody who lives at Admiralty, but Woodlands feels more populated. So it doesn't feel as like creepy. But Admiralty is quieter. And yeah, and the thing is, when we were looking for we specifically wanted to find schools in Singapore that have already closed down. So that, if you're studying in one of the schools that is still around and then there's ghost stories around it, that doesn't help you concentrate on your exams. And the last thing we want to do is help you fail exams. We're all about education down here. Stay in school, kids. Even if it's haunted, stay in school. But yeah, and when you look for schools that have closed down, this was the one that kebab tops. I remember seeing this not just in like haunted schools in Singapore, specifically in like one of those interesting haunted places to visit. And then they got all these different schools from like different countries and everything. This was the one entry in, I can't remember which website it was. The one entry in Singapore was this one. And yeah, I mean, I've never heard stories about this place, but then to be fair, most of the ghost stories that I hear in Singapore schools are quite similar to this. It's always, whether the school is opened or whether the school is closed, it's always the same thing where you hear whispers and you hear footsteps. The objects moving, like I said, objects moving always stretches believability for me.
Yeah.
Even though I know at least one person who says that, you know, they've seen a haunting where objects are moving. Not in the school lah, but like, you know, they've seen a haunting where objects are moving. I still find it a little bit hard to believe. But every school, as far as I know lah, most people when they tell ghost stories about their schools, there's always like, somebody whispering, footsteps down there. So it feels, for lack of a better term, very on brand with Singapore school hauntings lah.
Honestly, if you ask me, right, it's not as scary.
Yeah.
Because I've not been there.
Yeah.
But I've been to an actual abandoned school, Braddell Road. That one really abandoned. I walked. In fact, me and my wife, when we were still dating, the two of us just went.
So romantic.
In the day, we just went to this haunted place.
Romantic.
We just walked around. Wow, it's damn creepy.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
It's along Braddell Road.
Yes.
You can see on the left.
Yeah.
Now it's torn down. It's a new school already lah.
Yep.
But I remember walking up to the hall, and I peeped into the hall. You know what I saw? In the middle of the hall, like the hall.
Yeah.
Noose, bro. One noose. Yeah. In the hall. And I was like, okay, time to go. Okay, so upon digging, right? It is. I mean, I'm looking at their website lah. They did say that they were established in 2002.
Who's this?
Admiralty Secondary School lah, and it was on the premises of Evergreen Secondary School.
But that's the new one lah, I assume. The old Admiralty Secondary School.
I don't know lah. Yeah. It could be, right? But was Admiralty Secondary School around already?
It was because
when you were studying. I'm not trying to carbon date you, dude, but I just want to know, like,
carbon date. That makes me sound even older. Carbon date me. No, there was an Admiralty Secondary School. I remember when I was a kid, but I don't know when it closed down exactly. From our research, it says it closed down in 1994. So I assume that the new Admiralty Secondary School was established after that lah. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, like you said, it's not that scary because neither of us have been there, but also there's something very familiar about what they're saying about all this lah. You see it in every secondary school in Singapore anyway, so. Well, you don't see it, but you hear about it in every secondary school.
Yeah. I mean, what really scares me, right, is the whole idea of like, you know, the late afternoon, then the hall like got people, not really people, then not really any lights, then you stay there. Wow, that one is creepy.
Yeah.
Because I think we all can relate, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like my scariest haunted school was the moment when I saw the news. Then I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I'm trying to think of the scariest school, not necessarily even that I've stepped into. There is a school that I'm thinking of that is I won't say where lah, but it's in a familiar place of other stories that I've told. And I remember that secondary school, I had a friend tell me that I also won't reveal the gender of the friend because that will very clearly place which secondary school it is. But I had a friend tell me that they saw an orang minyak in the school.
Oh. In Singapore?
In Singapore. And bear in mind, my friend has the third eye.
Damn.
So they said that they saw orang minyak. And like you said, it's exactly that sweet spot in the afternoon where there's not that many people around. You know, maybe some people around for like ECAs and stuff like that. So they saw an orang minyak like just lurking around the school. And they're not the only ones that have talked about seeing weird stuff in that school. Like I had some friends, they didn't go to that school, but they went to visit some friends in that school. And I can't remember which room it was, but they went up like stairs or something like that. And again, this one wasn't even the afternoon. This was like maybe 11 o'clock in the morning. And this was on a Sunday. So the school was still quite empty. But it was daytime. And they went up to this, I can't remember which room it was. I don't think it was the hall. But they went up to some room and they saw shadows moving in like corners here and there. And then when they saw that, knowing even that it's daytime, they still just jabot straight away. They just ran. They had to run downstairs because they climbed up to this particular room. They ran downstairs and then just ran out of the school.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I just found something. Okay?
About Admiralty?
Yes. I'm very proud of myself.
Nice.
I basically found records of the plans for the building of Admiralty, the original old Admiralty Secondary School.
You sound like you're pulling off a heist, you know.
No, I found the plans from 1974.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting. Basically, yeah, it goes to the claim that it was built. I'm trying to find the actual address, but I don't think you can find it. By the way, I'm not breaking any laws. This is public domain. This is through the website National Archives. I'm looking at the Google map, right, of the area. Is probably along the current Admiralty Road somewhere there. There's some construction going on. By the way, for our non-Singaporean friends, Admiralty Road is very, very close to the causeway crossing between Malaysia, Johor, Johor Bahru, and Woodlands. So it's very close. I personally have been to the whole area before. I did urban exploration there. Around the old Woodlands center.
Yeah.
And also further down, right, there was this whole blocks of HDB flats. I don't think they were HDB flats. I think they were like
the HUDC ones?
Some public housing house. Right. Not for Singaporeans, for the KTM workers.
Oh, okay.
Torn down already, no more. Okay. I actually saw them. Saw that whole bunch of flats. So I think it's around that area. I think the school is no longer around, it's torn down already.
Yeah.
And then as you move further, like Marsiling Road leads to Marsiling Road West, which will take you all the way down, which is like on the closer to the shore side of Woodlands, all the way down to View Road. You know where View Road is, right?
Yep.
The View Road Mental Hospital, which is also known to be famously haunted. Still not built anything yet. And actually, you want to know that the new I think RTS line between Malaysia and Singapore is near View Road. It's just right next to it. It's connecting to the Thomson East Coast Line, Woodlands North. So interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, like, does it sound like the kind of what do you think of the accounts that people have heard of this place?
I do know that there is the tunnel that is very old at Marsiling, at Admiralty Road, that area there's a very old tunnel.
Is it like a World War II tunnel?
No. Those are the Marsiling tunnels.
Right.
They're different. This one is more of like just a pedestrian tunnel that is known to be haunted.
Oh, those pedestrian tunnels can be quite creepy.
Yeah, it's like the East Coast ones. There's one in the East Coast one that's abandoned, but you still can use it apparently. But it's not connected to the path road, so you have to go through grass along the highway, then just to go. So I see it. Yeah, it's very strange.
And it doesn't lead you to...
It leads you to East Coast.
Oh, wow.
But it's also like grass.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Well, I hope you had a good share of haunted schools.
Hang on. I hope this has been educational for you.
The next thing you know, MOE sent us, we do not appreciate you talking about haunted schools.
Hey, we're talking about haunted schools that have closed down already, okay? So we're not talking about any existing schools. If you guys in the comments want to talk about them, we can stop you.
The keyword
We
is
don't encourage it.
old.
Yes.
Old.
Old. Gone.
No more.
No more.
Yeah.
Finito.
Yeah.
But also, we're also looking at all these other schools from around the region, around Asia as well. And, it was, I'm not going to make the educational pun again, but it was definitely enlightening for me.
Yeah.
Especially the one in Hong Kong. I had no idea about all of that in Hong Kong. Yeah. But yeah, so you guys asked for this episode. Here you go. As is always the case, we are listening to you guys. That sounds a bit creepy. Sounded a bit like eerie. It's like we're listening to you. But we are listening to you guys. If there are other types of episodes that are similar to this that you want us to explore, let us know what you want us to explore. Whether it's like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of haunted parks, maybe. Haunted beaches,
Maybe. A lot of things can be haunted.
Yeah, that's
haunted cars,
haunted cars.
haunted bus, haunted planes. Actually, haunted planes
Now
would
you're just listing modes of transport.
Actually, haunted airports would be quite interesting.
That would be quite interesting. I have no
Haunted
idea.
airports. Of course, we can't talk about the one in Singapore lah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, because
what you're talking about?
later kena bomba.
Don't know what you're talking about, Carl. Don't know what you're talking about. No, but if you guys want to see us do more episodes of this kind where it's just me and Kyle exploring haunted locations, haunted places, haunted things all around Asia, just let us know. Clearly we're listening. So if you have anything, I'm repeating myself all over again now.
Yeah.
This is what you mean by rambling lah. So we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. And we'll see you the next time.
That's right. 3, 2, 1. Remember, just because they're stories, it doesn't mean they're not true.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
See you.
If you want to stay up to date on Hantu or listen to our other podcasts like Ghost Maps, subscribe now and follow us on social media. You can also be one of our supporters on Patreon. Look for We Are Hantu or click the links in the description. Dead Air is a Hantu production, hosted by Kyle Ong and Wayne Ray, with album art by Jolene Lim, and recorded on Audio Technica mics.